Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Spiritually Unfiltered. We are excited today. Well, I specifically am excited because Sima is actually going to hold a session for me. And yeah, so I'm really excited to dive in. And I think what is really beautiful about this is you're going to get to see how Seema works, like the magic that she does with her clients in her work, and learn a little bit more about my soul, I guess. But something I want to ask, because this is a question that people have asked me before as well,
Mhm.
and like I kind of have my own understanding of it, but I think for anyone who has maybe not worked with you before or they don't understand, what is a soul contract or what kind of can happen when someone goes into a session with you.
So, sessions are different for every single person because every single person is walking in with a different experience that they're going through, with a different soul contract that they're literally playing out. So, sessions feel different for every single person based on their act. But basically, what we do in this session is we connect to your spirit council. Your spirit council are high level angels that were assigned to your soul before you were born here. So, think of it as you sat with God, you decided on your soul contract here, and you agreed to all of the experiences, all of the karmas, all the things that you're going to like work through, and all the things you're going to receive and become in this lifetime. And then God is like, great, and here is your counsel. Here are your angels that are going to be working in support with you as like this connection to guide you on your journey. So they're like messengers of God. That's what angels are. But these are high level angels assigned to each person. So oftentimes people will ask me, who's on my spirit council? I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I can't give you names of like Bob and Billy and like Joe
Yeah.
because they don't have names, they're frequencies, and they're not loved ones that have passed on and people that we know do not have a seat in our spirit council. These are not souls that have come to earth and then now they're high level angels. They're not those are really like archangels, we'll call them, like they've been on earth and then they like level up to this like angel element that we work with. But your spirit council are literally just high level angels assigned to you. They have a frequency to them, and so even though it's a collective, so they work with different aspects of your life, the messages come through as like one channel, one portal. So they are really what give me the information. I always
Mhm.
put us in the space protected by God. You know, Abby, before every session, I say a prayer, we call in God, we protect the space, we ask for the messages of the greatest and highest good, and then God brings in his angels and they start guiding me to tell me, okay, here's where the person is at on their journey right now. And I always tell people when they come into the space, I always ask, do you have any specific questions? Like I asked you before this, but I always let it be Spirit Council brought you here for a reason. They have messages for you. There's certain things in your journey right now that are meant to be reflected to you, so they will bring it up for you. So
Mhm.
they really kind of just tell us where we're at, what's going on, where you're at on your journey of awakening and evolving. And then it goes into, sometimes they'll go into past lives if that has something to do with the current energy. Sometimes they'll go into future timelines to reflect to you where you're meant to go. They can take us to a lot of different dimensions based on the information that we need. That's why I say no two sessions are alike. And even with my clients that I work with continuously, no two sessions in our sessions are alike because it's just peeling back layer after layer after layer after layer to integrate this new information. And so, yeah, today we're going to see what wants to come up for you and what wants to be revealed to you, what you're ready to receive right now, what you're meant to receive right now. But more importantly, what I find to be one of the coolest things in my experience is when I read my friends, there's always information that comes through that like I literally like would have never known about when it comes to them and things that are going on with them. So I'm personally curious like what is going to come through for
Yeah.
you around your journey. And I know this is something you and I have spoken about, to like do sessions on the podcast for each other so people can experience our work and how we really work. But I'm just also very curious, like there was a random calling to do this session for you today. So we
Yeah.
decided to just do this today. So I'm very curious what messages they have for you in the specific like timeline that you're at in your life. So let's jump right in. I will say this to you because you haven't fully seen me do a session before. As I talk to you, as I'm doing the reading, I look away from the camera a lot. So like I'll be
Mm-hmm.
talking to you or you'll be talking to me and I'm like staring into these places. That's because I'm receiving messages. So that's why I'm just like staring away. If you have questions throughout it, ask any question that comes up for you. We get random questions that we didn't even think we would have. And sometimes it's off topic from what we're talking about, but ask it. There's a reason why that question is coming through for you. Ask whatever questions you have in this space. Like it's the time to ask it. And yeah, we're going to see what they have for you. So, to tune into the frequency of your body so I could start channeling the messages, let me have you take 2 deep breaths in and out. So, deep breath in and out. And do one more. It's always so cool to tap into my friends' counsels and energies because I feel like I all of a sudden have access to this whole other side of your experience, which is really cool, which is what my human self doesn't see. So, the first thing that comes up for you at the top of every session, I have you guys take a deep breath because it literally opens the channel and it opens the portal and information starts coming through right away. The first thing that comes up for you, which is very interesting because I don't work with loved ones that have passed on, but they're allowed to come through and they come through when there's a very big purpose for their energy being here. So for you, I don't know if your grandparents have passed away or not. I actually don't know
Mm-hmm.
much about your grandparents, but you have a grandmother. That's the
Mm-hmm.
energy that comes through first. I can't tell specifically if it's from dad's side or mom's side. I want to say it's from mom's side, but if there's a grandmother that you resonate more with, it's her energy. But the essence and message around her energy coming through has so much to do with your feminine experience here on earth, what you are called to create here on earth, and such a reminder that her soul is so very here to support you in creating that. Many
Mm-hmm.
times we forget that our loved ones that have passed on, we carry a part of their soul contracts because it's a part of our contract to clear experiences they had that they didn't complete. And many times they weren't meant to complete it. But
Mm-hmm.
you have a grandmother who, in her lineage and in her experience, like you're actually the continuation of that energetic lineage. Does that make sense? Tell me, does this feel in your body more so like your mom or dad's side? To me, it feels like your mom's side, but like you're going to feel it in your body more.
Kind of like I don't know who it feels like because like my mom's mom is still living. Like she's on a plane
Okay, then
right
it's
now.
not
Like
her.
she's
Oh
flying
yeah,
at
she's the one that. So okay, so then it's your dad's mom. Okay, then that's
yeah.
it.
So
Because she has to be passed on. She can't be here.
yeah, okay, okay.
Okay, wonderful. And this is why I always ask because the essence of feeling like oh it feels from your mom's side is simply because it's just such a feminine energy that's coming through.
Right, yeah.
And it's
Mm-hmm,
just so very feminine.
mm-hmm.
Here is the major message, like the frequency of why she's coming through and what wants to be brought forth for you in this part of your journey in your evolution. There, in the way that your grandmother lived and what she embodied in her feminine experience, and we already know like our grandmother's generations, they didn't have as much freedom as we have today. They didn't have as much autonomy or authority over themselves and their own lives. It was just a very different timeline. This grandmother of yours feels like she was so very suppressed in expressing her most authentic self. There was so much fire, there was so much magic. Like she's one of those that like because she's limited in the ways she could express herself, she may be dressed in a way that would express like her character and like she's so colorful, but she couldn't express that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lack of permission to express her full
Right.
self. And
Mm-hmm.
it's very much just like a timeline thing.
Mm-hmm.
You are here to really fully be in that feminine expression
Mm-hmm.
and to receive from that feminine expression. So then to be in a relationship, in a loving union where you are so seen and witnessed and celebrated for your expression. It's almost like this year is a year that you're really being called to embody yourself in more ways than just
Yeah.
one. It's
Mm.
really about tuning into the woman you see yourself being, like the most free version of you that then feels like the most empowered version of you. That's the woman you're called to becoming this year. And one thing that's coming through in the space also is like, that's why that partner hasn't entered the space yet, because you had to know this piece of information. You had to know that it's like a prerequisite of love for you to fully step into this embodiment that you didn't know you needed to or wanted to step in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like it's really interesting because, she died before I was born,
Mm-hmm.
but like my dad has never stopped talking about her and
Oh.
like how wonderful she was, and like he worshipped her like as his mom, but
Mm-hmm.
I can see that she was very suppressed in her life. She had 8 children, and I think my dad would say she worked like 3 jobs. So
Wow.
when my dad got to like a certain age just before she died, they would buy her things, and like he wanted to like give to her like at that
Mm-hmm.
point. So it makes me feel like emotional, like it brings up emotions that I
Yeah.
don't even know I had emotions about this
Mm-hmm.
situation, but it's like and it's really funny because when I was a kid, I used to like they had, like my dad's parents, like they had, of course, like in the cemetery, like a grave and things like that, but nobody would go to visit. And as a
Mm-hmm.
kid, I thought that was like so strange. And so I started like I worked in a flower shop from when I was 13, and every Saturday I would take flowers home and I would get my dad to take me to the grave the
That's
next
so
day.
sweet.
Because like I just like I guess like maybe I felt like, like some sort of connection or
Mm-hmm.
some, of course there's a connection, but I
Yeah.
see that for sure. I see that in terms of the life that she led. It's almost like I guess it's almost like I'm feeling like you're reminding me of how many patterns I've already broken. Do you know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
of the way that I live my life and how free I am. But you're
Yeah.
right as well, because I do know there's a shift happening this year in a way where it's asking me to be even more me,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Even in terms of how I show up
It's
online.
really calling upon a deeper aspect and other aspects of your feminine that you have not yet tapped into.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so when we have loved ones come up for us in these sessions, it's really such a reminder, start talking to her.
Mm-hmm.
Grandma, or whatever you called her, thank you for coming through. Thank you for guiding me. I'm always open to messages and guidance. Please keep supporting me. Thank you for continuing to support me. Talk to her. Ask
Mm-hmm.
her questions. Ask her to give you guidance as well, because their energy is so here to support us. And we can only receive when we ask, so ask. And I always say this to my clients where loved ones come through in a session. I'm like, you have to know they use so much energy to come through in this session. Like, that's how important it was for them to get your awareness. Like, they used a lot of energy to push through even spirit councils to be like, let me go in first because I have a message to give. So, really, like, we're going to thank her soul so much for coming through in this session, and work with her in your life. Even if you have a picture of her, put up a picture of her in your house to like honor her soul and honor her memory and just thank her for being here and guiding you. And then remember that you you now realize that a part of your soul contract isn't just about the experiences you've had in the feminine with your own mom or your grandma on your mom's side, but
Right.
you actually have a contract with the feminine lineage from your dad's side.
Aha.
We
Mm.
often forget that. We oftentimes think our feminine energy or the lineage of feminine that we're like breaking ancestral patterns and stuff comes from our mom's side, but many of us have actually taken on our dad's side of that, especially since you're the only daughter through your father. You are taking on that feminine lineage.
Yeah.
I actually feel like you take on more from your dad's lineage energetically. Like in a human
Mm.
experience, you might take
Mm-hmm.
on more of your mom's humanly stuff and those
Mm-hmm.
experiences that you're like, I like this about my mom, I don't like this on that
Mm-hmm.
aspect. But on a soul level, that contract is more deeply tied in with your dad's lineage than it is to your
Mm-hmm.
mom's.
It makes so much sense because even like out of everybody in my family, I look like my dad's sister. Like I'm like
Mm.
when it was her funeral, like people were coming up to me like, "Oh my God." Like she has daughters as well, but like people were coming up to me like, "Oh my God, you look so much
Like
like
you look
your
like her.
you look
Yeah.
like I'm very that side of the family in a
Hmm.
way." And my mom always says, "You're so like your dad." You're, so
You,
it's
yeah, you took on a lot of their lineage. And many times as kids, we'll take on different contracts from both parents. It's not all one
mm,
parent or the other.
hmm
Sometimes it'll lean a little bit more with one side or the other, but we take on different contracts with different parents and with different lineages because it's really just about the souls at the end of the day and
hmm
things that we're playing through in this lifetime to clear out energetically. So when it comes to your feminine, when it comes to love, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to feminine power, we're actually very much working with your dad's side and that lineage. So, what Spirit is now saying, now this is where your Spirit Council comes in. And Spirit is now saying, they're like, we or you are ready to start activating these aspects of your feminine and the feminine codes that you have carried in your body that you just have not been aware of. On a human level, this makes a lot of sense for me, like knowing you, because we know that you operate a little bit more logically in how you are. And that's because these aspects of your feminine, they just haven't been activated. Like
Okay.
there's frequencies around our DNA in our body that are literally feminine codes that just need to be activated. They get activated through remembrance. And so we'll read about something, we'll hear about something, but first and foremost, it's intention. And that's what many times I've seen what Spirit Council does in these sessions. They bring forward the awareness so that you could be like, oh, I meant to like activate my feminine nodes in my body, like these certain centers that I didn't even know needed activation. Okay, God, I'm open for it. I'm ready. And then bam, those experiences, whatever they may be, start entering your field because now you're aware of it. So Spirit Council will always first, in the first session, it's always they bring forward the awareness of everything you need. And then the coaching and the breakdowns happen in the future sessions. Make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
I asked them specifically, I'm like, okay, how what do you want to bring to her awareness in the different aspects of her life when we're talking about her feminine? What they're saying is she didn't have this huge awareness that there was aspects of her feminine that needed activation. And so even in this space, she's not fully aware of what it even means, but she's open to it. And that's all we need to get started here. Now, what they're saying, they're like, there's an invitation to different aspects, to different elements of your feminine that are ready to come online now. And it goes into business, it goes into personal life, it goes into romance, it goes into all of these aspects of your life. And what they're saying is look at the different types of women you have seen in your life. They have always been meant to be mirrors and reflections to you of the different aspects of you.
Mhm.
Now, I know one of the questions you've always had for me is that family that you worked for and you feel like there's such a special bond with them. And you've always asked, like, is there a soul contract with them? Are they a part of my soul family? We just met them in this way. The interesting thing about that family is, Abby, that the biggest contract I see is actually with you and the wife more than anyone else in the family.
Yeah.
That the woman is actually one of the greatest mirrors and reflection for you in your own life and in the woman that you get to become because she carries both the energy of strong, powerful, married to an amazing man, has this beautiful life woman, and also that other shadow side of her where you're like, oh, these are her shadows. We all have them.
Mhm.
She reflects all of that to you. You're
Mhm.
actually in relation to her. She was always, well, both of you together, you've meant to be mirrors for each other, because
Right.
where you have found this sense of completion within yourself is that completion that she's looking for. And in that aspect of her life where she has found completion is the part of your life that you've actually been wanting to activate. Does that make sense?
Oh, like on so many levels. Like,
Okay,
and
good.
it,
And I say it in this way without giving too many details, just to like protect their
hmm
privacy and stuff too. But that's why I'm
hmm
like, does it make sense to you?
Yeah, and it was even like I remember because obviously I was predominantly there for the children, but I remember they asked me, this was like before COVID. They were maybe going to be moving to Singapore, and she was like, like we wanted to know if you would come with us, blah blah blah. And or there was a situation and she said, it's not really, you're not really for the kids anymore, like you're for me, and she always used to say, like, it's more for me, like that we want you around, essentially, and we used to talk about this a lot. I used to say, like she used to say, oh, I tell my sister all the time, I'm so grateful that Abby came into our life. I feel so blessed. I cannot believe like we got to meet Abby, and I would say to her, I think the same thing. Like I have the same feeling,
Mhm.
and we would say we must have been had lives together before, or like we're meant to meet. It's like
Yeah.
even the elders in their family would say it's fate that we met each other,
Yeah.
you
That
know?
makes so much sense.
Yeah.
That
And
makes so
yeah.
much sense why in that family it's her energy that comes through of having that contract with her. You guys
hmm
have it's you guys probably had lifetimes of being sisters together, being best friends
hmm
together, of being like first cousins together, or like neighbors who grew up together. You guys have a lot of lifetimes of growing up that way together. So it only makes sense that in this lifetime you would find each other again and have that connection. But the emphasis on this is the mirroring. You you see so much of yourself and your potential and possibility through her. So kind of look at her and see certain like accomplishments in certain places she's at in her life that you respect that about her. Like she mirrors possibility to you in these ways that you haven't had, but in your soul, I want that version of it for me. She's that mirror for you. And then in the ways where you see, let's just say her shadows, you can see the ways in which you have grown, the part that you have done on your own journey. So you could be like, oh, wow, okay, I have grown in this way and I'm so proud of myself for this.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
so always use her as your mirror. Like that's what she's here for, and vice versa. But
hmm
if she recognizes that, like that's on her free will.
Do you know what's
Yeah.
really interesting? We once had a conversation. I think it was when I was deciding to leave, and she said to me, oh, I just think you're so lucky. Like you just have like something you're so passionate about. And she shared with me the ways in which she could see like that completion you're talking about within me.
Mm-hmm.
And I returned and said to her, "Yeah, but you have so many things that I'm looking towards having as well." And we were like just in this like kind of neutral space of like
Yeah.
mirror that you're
That
talking about.
Like exactly that.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of you guys' relationship with each other.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that's how your souls will continue to grow and evolve and expand in each other's lives. And so I do feel like there is a really big possibility, but again, like it has to do with free will, where you guys will reconnect, and this reconnection will be on a whole different level for a whole different purpose.
Yeah.
But again, free will.
Mhm.
We the possibility is there. The human decision needs to match it.
Uh-huh.
And if and when it does, now you really understand why. And it's like this flow of sisterhood with each other. And, before the session, you and I were talking about sisters and like the energy and frequency of that. And one thing I have really seen in this lifetime is that sisterhood really is such a sacred thing, and it really doesn't always come from biological sisters. Sisterhood really comes from frequencies of souls who are from our soul family. That's where we find sisters and people who are not biological sisters, which is a beautiful thing, and it's a beautiful experience. And it really feels like her frequency is like a sister frequency to you.
Yeah.
And so you use it. Like,
Mm.
use the sides of her that you see and were inspired by, because you will see once you tune into it. That is, if I'm just going to say it in like the most like basic terms, the dark side and the light side of the feminine. But the dark side not being bad, the dark side being the more sensual, sexual, spicy, like rebellious side of the feminine. That is the bold side of the feminine. That is the claim and command side of the feminine. That's that side of the feminine who knows what she wants, she owns it, she claims it, it's done. That's the aspect of your feminine that wants to come online. Because the
Um,
other aspect of it, let's call it like the light aspect, which is the loving, which is the nurturing, which is the gives herself grace and listen, like that part has been activated. That part is actually very embodied within you, which is why like you love cooking things and making stuff from scratch. You listen to your body, you give yourself grace with how you're feeling, and like you don't overexert yourself, because you honor your body when you know your limits in every situation. I was going to say certain situations, but really it's every situation. That's that light side of the feminine. But to even charge this side of our feminine, we need that dark side of the feminine. That's the part of the feminine that wants to be activated with you. That's even where like the frequency of your grandma comes in, because she's
right.
like, you could feel without even knowing me, I had that in me. It just couldn't be
Mm.
fully presented. It couldn't be fully embodied, but
Mm-hmm.
you can. And that is such a big part of your contract, to embody that. And as you embody that version of it for yourself, that is where your life, Abby, in more ways than one. So not even just with like love and partnership, but even like your business, it expands in the ways and the visions that you have seen it expanding. It's almost like it has required this aspect of your feminine to come online, and you just didn't know it. So you were leaning more so towards your own inner masculine of creating structure, of creating systems, because that feels powerful, that feels safe, that feels bold. And it is, and it's so important for us as women to also have like that masculine aspect of us, like grounded and set in space. But there was a part of it where it's almost like you were allocating a little bit more to your masculine, because
Yeah.
you didn't recognize that that power you were looking for was
Mm.
actually coming from this aspect of your feminine.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
that's why today, you know what? This makes so much sense given the voice note you sent me last night about where you were at.
Right. Oh my
This
God, that's
makes
so
so much
true.
sense. Why, like, because yesterday during the day as we spoke, I'm like, I need to do the session for you tomorrow. Like, let's just do that podcast episode. It
Mm-hmm.
makes sense because this message needed to come through. Because what did you say to me in your voice note last night? I'm declaring this and I'm stepping
I
into this.
wanted to use this as an opportunity to claim and command something
Yes.
that I didn't say to you on our call yesterday.
Yes. And so you literally decided, I am claiming this, I'm declaring it, and so it is. And that's why
Mhm.
they're like, you see, when you decide something in life, the things that need to be activated, the things that need to come forth are going to come forth. This message has come forth because in this claim, it's not about your masculine, it's about that dark side of the feminine. She's the one that claims and commands. She's the one that holds this bold embodiment of it's mine and it's done.
Mhm.
That's the part of you that's ready to be activated.
And you know, it's so interesting because every person that you've mentioned in my life, like my dad's side of the feminine, like, the family, like that's what they have.
Yeah.
They do. They have that. It's almost like this ability to just like, this is how it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's that. It's straight up.
Now, imagine this, because I've seen a lot of women in a lot of different lineages who have that energy. But then that energy is mixed in with a lot of like messy energy, let's just say,
Yeah.
because they're not grounded in their
Yeah.
other ways. So it can't be directed properly.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine for someone like you who has worked on that other aspect of her feminine, who has worked on her masculine, and has a relationship to these to flow and ever evolve, and then enters this third element. This is like our very own like holy trinity, you know, our two aspects of our feminine and the masculine. And so you're bringing in this third part of the puzzle to enter this whole dynamic. And it activates you in a completely different way. And so there's this claim, there's this command, but it's not with force. It's not with pressure where a lot of people do it with force and pressure. It's not that. It's just,
Yeah.
it is. It just is. And
Mm-hmm.
it's mixed in with that playful side, that fun side, that joyful side, and that secure, I got myself, I'm safe side.
Yeah.
Like this has been the missing piece of your puzzle, but it's not like you're late or anything. Like you're right on time, because even if these messages came to you 6 months ago, it wouldn't resonate. It wouldn't have clicked the way it does now. Like now is the time. And we've been talking about this and doing a session for each other on this podcast for months now.
I
And it
know.
makes sense why now is the time, because this is the message you were meant to receive, and you wouldn't know how to fully integrate it even like 2-3 months ago. It wasn't the right time for it. So
Mm-hmm.
you are on time, and all of this is really perfectly divinely timed, and it gets to come into your experience. So I know one of the things we talk a lot about is our future selves and working with our future selves and calling her in. What Spirit is telling you to do is, as you have built this relationship with your future self, and not just the life that she has, but who she is there, they're like, start looking at this aspect of her and just call it her dark feminine, and see what she starts to reveal to you about herself. Because this is the part that holds our sexuality and our sensuality. And think of it, our root and sacral chakra that holds these frequencies is the same frequency where money is created from, where abundance is created from. It's
Mm-hmm.
the same area we receive from. It's all actually very intertwined with each other.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that the women that have this type of like richness and abundance and spice in their life, they're all, let's say, I'm going to use like very basic terms, they're all like a little bit bitchy.
Yeah.
Not that
Mm-hmm.
they're bitches, like they're really not, but
No.
they have that edge to them. It's that energy. That
Mm-hmm.
energy claims the things that they want.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
It's so interesting because I mean, what I shared with you on the voice clip, it was something in my business that I've decided I'm not doing anymore. And it was
Mm-hmm.
very like, I really felt called to really make it clear, and share that with
Mm-hmm.
you that this was something I was changing. And I was like, I just want it. And it wasn't even to declare it to you, it was more, you were like a vessel I was using to declare it to the universe, like,
Yeah.
and yeah, and it's kind of, yeah, it's just, it makes so much sense because I feel like I'm in a space where energetically I'm so ready to meet that version of myself as well, that aspect of myself,
Yeah, she's so ready to come online. One of the things you're going to feel called a lot to do in this space as you invite her in, and like she already exists within you, is just this
Hmm.
activation that gets to happen. So please read the You Are a Goddess book. I know I've told you a bunch of times to read it. Read it. That's going to really support the activation, because as you read those goddesses that are considered the dark goddesses, let's say, that does the memory, the remembrance of it, like it
Hmm.
creates those activations within you. You're also going to be called a lot to move your body, somatic movement, and to just get into your body. And this is also like I don't want to call it a Kundalini activation, but that life force energy that exists at our hips, it really wants to move up our body. That mystical, magical side of the feminine comes from this aspect of us, and it wants to be awakened through you.
Hmm. I wonder if that's like, the way I always had like a back issue.
Yes, yes, that makes perfect sense, that it's storing that energy in there and it just wants to come out. One of the things I always tell women to do at this part of their journey, belly dancing.
Uh-huh.
I'll send you a couple songs that I have that are not just like fun belly dancing songs, but they're very sensual belly dancing songs. Belly dancing is so sacred. Like, if we
Hmm.
look at different cultures, we can see all of these different cultures where the movement for the women and the dancing all had to do with their hips. So many different cultures have it. It's all in the hips, and it activates and it awakens and it brings to life like this part of our feminine, which is why in many parts of the world, belly dancing is illegal. They don't even allow it anymore. It wants to suppress that
Hmm.
divinity in the feminine.
Hmm.
There's
Wow.
certain parts of the world where belly dancing, you can't do it. It's illegal. You can't. You can't. Especially from the places where it originated from. Can't do
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
So it helps this activation come online. It helps this remembrance, this wild, raw, and free feminine. That if we also think of it, when you think of, let's say, your grandmother or your ancestors, if we're being very real about it, how embodied were they in their sensuality and their sexuality? They weren't. That's a huge activation that our generation is really being called to. And so that's the activation that you're literally being called to. And so go move your body, move your hips, go literally feel what would make you feel sexy in a way that you didn't think of before. And it's like an embodied version of that.
Right.
And
Mm.
like these goddesses that work with this frequency, they're going to start coming through. You're going to feel how all along their presence, like the Lilith, the Mary Magdalene, the Kali, the Isis, like how those energies have always been with you, and they're just like moving through your body now.
Mhm.
They are also the goddesses that as they come through, they make us be very unafraid of our emotions. And when, you know how like in the coaching program, as the women were moving through all their stuff, it was like getting very messy. And you said to me, let's create structure. And I said, no, let it get even messier. It
Right.
needs to get messy. These emotions need to come up so much and feel so messy to then transmute them, to transform them and alchemize them into something. If you think of that, that's this like snake energy that comes up and it gets messy and it's messy and it comes up and it comes up to the surface, and then you point it into the direction you want it. When we activate this part of our feminine, it's what creates a full safety in our body to let ourselves go to the depths of our emotions,
Mhm.
to scream, to shout, to let out, and to feel so safe and divine in that space. This is an aspect of you that they're like, this hasn't come out of her just yet. She logically knows about all of these things, but she hasn't embodied it just yet. And especially in this portal of this eclipse that we're in, they're like, this is the initiation for you. This is where this side of you, and you're an Aries, you have that natural fire. It's going to bring you home to yourself in ways that you're like, whoa.
Right. No, it makes so much sense. And it's kind of like, I mean, I'm a very emotional person, but people, like, I don't show it to people that often.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't like to cry in front of people and it's funny because the other day I went to a movie. I went to see Wuthering Heights with my
Mm-hmm.
friend, and I was like, I felt really emotional at the end, and usually I would be like that, like, no, like, don't get emotional, like, you don't want people to see you cry like strangers or whatever. But I sat there and I was like, no, like, I'm feeling this, so I'm gonna, like, if anybody sees me cry, I don't care,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was kind of like, yeah, like I know I have that awareness, that logic towards there is almost like a part of me that resists really showing my emotion fully, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like so I get that 100%.
This is like full breakthrough season for you. I think a part of the not showing your emotions fully is also probably like the English side of you, because it's very a part of the culture of like be
I
stoic in
guess.
that way.
Yes.
It's very much that as well. But there is like you can see even choosing in this lifetime to be born in like England or United Kingdom and to be brought up in that culture, it actually goes hand in hand in what your soul wanted to experience here, to experience kind of that suppression in this way, in the expression of the emotions, to then fully give yourself permission to be freed from it. So like down to where we're born, like geographically, perfectly aligned. Like our souls knew exactly what it was picking. So in this, it's also a reminder that like you see your visions and the things you're holding in life as far as business. And I know like the vision we have for like our business together and where it goes and partner in life and friendships in life. They're like, you see this aspect of your feminine comes in and supercharges it.
Mm-hmm.
This has been this has been the third part. And
Mm-hmm.
so they're like, now you can see all these things and get even more excited about it. Get
Mm-hmm.
even like look even more forward to it because you're like, oh yeah, like God, thank you. Like it's literally when we decide on something, all of the pieces find themselves to us to put it together. You literally just received one of your big pieces. And this is a foundational piece.
Mm-hmm.
And so as that happens, and look, it just kind of like walked into your life. It's such a reminder that's how it works. When we're not looking for it, we're just declaring what it is we want. The pieces, the information, the thing that we need finds us and we get to integrate it and become it. So now basically what they're saying is you get to get even more excited about your visions and the reality and possibility of them.
For sure. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
literally like I know or I've felt like such a shift over like moving into this new place, like even down to what we were talking about on the last episode where I was like I felt it in my body that this like I didn't want to go on a date with this person. And you know what came through to me in that? It was like God doesn't want me to date anybody who is not my husband because I literally fucking asked for it. I said I don't want to date anybody that isn't my husband. And it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, but there's this firm, like almost like this firm energy that is coming out that I know has always been there,
Mm-hmm.
and with certain people, I do kind of exercise it a little bit, but not like, not
Yeah.
in the way that I know I'm supposed to, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I also
Mhm.
think it's something that like because you've reflected it about me to me so much and
Yeah.
you always tell me, "Oh, it's that sacral authority." Like Seema, you have that in your human design. It's a sacral authority. Like
Hmm.
it is that, but in my life, it's through this that it was actually activated and that
Uh-huh.
I
Mm.
practice that.
Right.
Because yeah, I do more naturally have that in my human design, but it has been through this remembrance and through this
Hmm.
feminine activation within me
Yeah.
that I not only remembered that, then I became really grounded in it.
Right. You
'Cause I think
trusted
one
it
of
more.
those things that like I as a woman hold a lot, I claim, I command, and it's done, and no one's gonna get in my way. You can't even
Mm-hmm.
try me. Like it's not even possible, Like,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
it's what comes through us when this is activated. Everyone has this version of them, and like it's there for all of us.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I know that you've always reflected that to me, and I know you've always reflected that to me because it exists within you as well. And like that aspect of you, like, oh my God, she's ready.
I feel her. It's even like,
Mm-hmm.
the collective energy that we're experiencing now. It's like we went into this year of the horse and I was just like, oh my God. Like I feel the,
Yeah.
but it's a different kind of power. That's how I felt it. It's not like you know, I'm just running towards something kind of power. It's more refined, intentional, like embodied.
Exactly. That's what it feels like. It's very refined and it's not going down this like big path where it can go like this. It's very like down a specific portal, shooting that energy through to create exactly that.
Hmm.
And that is power. That is confidence. When we sometimes look at confidence within a person,
Yeah.
confidence is taking all of this energy, bringing it in and directing it straight. Have you noticed if you meet someone and their energy feels scattered and they're all over the place, we will never see that person as a confident person. We don't call that confidence. But when someone is just grounded and you feel this direct energy from them, you're like, "Oh, they're a very confident person."
Mhm.
They're very direct. That's because of energy. They've taken all of this energy and grounded it in this place. They're very direct. It's very straightforward. I'm sure you've even seen with a lot of very successful people, they're not scattered. Their energy is very direct, very straightforward, and it because you're putting the energy through a direct portal. You're not putting it through a big faucet. And this is the way I love to describe this with people is think of when you have like a water faucet. If the faucet is wide like this and the water's coming through, it's going to come through softer, spread out. It's going to be very gentle and it's not going to have as much pressure. Now you take the same faucet and you make it this thin and then you put the same water with the same pressure through it, it's going to come out the other end like more narrow, more sharp, and it's going to feel like it has more pressure coming out of it
Right.
because
Mm-hmm.
it's put through a smaller faucet. That's the same thing we do with energy when we direct it. And that's what then creates a specific outcome that we want because you're putting it through a very thin faucet. You're not, oh, maybe this, maybe that, maybe that. Oh, maybe I'm like this. I love myself, but I don't know. I doubt myself. Nope. Like, bam, it's all right here. I am
Yeah.
worthy.
Mm.
I am it. I am my own royalty. And you validate yourself like that creates that frequency and people feel that. The world feels that and your life reflects that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
It's, you know what's
your
coming up
your
for
world,
me?
Abby, is about to change in the best ways possible.
I know. Do you know what's coming up for me? I'm getting like this reminder, and it's it seems like the most trivial thing. Like it's the most random thing for me to notice, but it's something that I've noticed from women that have that feminine quality, that sort of like that connection to their, dark feminine, if you like. But it's this, you can ask them something and they will just respond yes or just no. Like it's so direct. And
Mhm.
I remember like my sister-in-law does that, and so does also the wife of the family. And I
Mhm.
remember always thinking like, I mean, they don't like, for me, like I never message like that. You know what I mean? And I would be like, but I guess that's like that over giving, that over nurturing, like a conversation or, that kind of, that's that light feminine that I'm very
Mhm.
comfortable with. But
Mhm.
that energy, when I think about it, when I reframe it and look at it and how I reacted to that sometimes, it's like, oh no, it's claim and command. It's direct. It's,
Yeah.
I know what I want. I know what I'm getting. Like this, do you know what I mean? Like it's like,
Absolutely, absolutely. And there are women that they are just much more embodied in their, let's say, dark side of their feminine. And there does need to be a
mm-hmm,
balance. We need to find that like flow in between it for our bodies and like how we show up in each way. And I think this, I love that it's coming through as like this holy trinity because I think within our vessels, especially as women, as we embody these two major aspects of our feminine and our masculine, like that balanced form for us, like it's what creates this fullness within us. It's actually a part of our awakening, a part of our soul contract, a part of what activates that spiritual DNA within us is
mm-hmm,
this,
mm-hmm.
is these different energies within us. And that's what it like magnetizes our manifesting abilities. It really brings so many of our gifts, our awarenesses, our memories, like through our soul. It brings them all online because this unlocks frequencies in our bodies, frequencies that were otherwise locked, but it needs this to really charge it up because then we know how to carry all of it. We know how to carry the
Right.
information. We know how to present the information.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
And so there's just there's so much more to our masculine and our feminine than we really even recognize. There's so much more than just this basic level stuff that we kind of hear about it when it comes to relationships and love and stuff like that. There's so much more because on a spiritual cellular level, it activates portals within our body. It activates remembrance. It allows us to hold spiritual information and deliver it to the world to then ultimately support the vibrational shift that we want to see happen in this world. And this is why, and a part of this awakening is where like intuition really comes online, discernment really comes online. these are all parts of these elements and how we hold this information. And, so many people I feel like look down at the feminine because, oh, the feminine is just emotional and she could be so very easily manipulated. And it's true, they will use our emotions to manipulate us. But when we have these awakenings, and we recognize the power of the different aspects of our feminine, we're no longer manipulated through our emotions. We use our emotions as the very same thing that keeps us grounded, secure, eyes open, and clear.
Mhm.
And this is why this aspect of the awakening is so huge and important. It's so much more than just man and woman, masculine and feminine. It actually, it's what all of creation is based off of, is these frequencies.
Yeah, for sure.
And so you could see like this activation that's happening within you is no small joke. This is it's very huge.
It's massive, and it's kind of like, there has been something brewing, and I mean, the timing, again, it's like this is like the perfect timing because there has been something brewing, like what I shared with you yesterday, those kind of things. But it's like what you've just shared with me, this is almost like I'm almost like getting a visual of like that horse. It's almost like moving it forward. It's allowing it to really create that movement to the embodiment of it. It's like I've been experiencing it a little bit over the last couple of weeks, I would say. But now it's kind of like, oh no, like she's ready for this activation and like
It is
done.
literally being eclipsed into your life. It's like
Yeah.
straight into your life. Yeah, and so I think these next like almost a month as we go through this eclipse portal is going to be so very, very, very transformative for you. And there's going to be different things that come up and different things that want to be activated through you. So of course, like you have access to me, so you'll come to me, talk to me, ask me questions. Like I'll support you through all of it. But definitely, definitely read the book. Like
Okay.
read You Are a Goddess. It's going to be very supportive. If you want to, like as you read the book, you don't have to start from the beginning. You could start from whatever goddess you feel called to, but like read the intro and then read the rest of it as you feel called in the order you want to read it.
Okay.
That's going to support your activation a lot. I also think this is just so perfect because in our coaching program, we do have a month about all of this, and it almost feels
Yes.
like you needed to go through this activation yourself before like we move the girls through it so that you can more deeply understand within your own vessel and feel these things very deeply as well. And yeah, I'm really excited for you.
Oh my God. I feel so much in my body right now, and so much as soon as you started talking, it's like my third eye was going like crazy, and you can feel the activations happening right now. Like I can feel it.
That's what I always tell my clients, that it's like in these sessions, it's talking to your soul, it's reflecting your soul
Yeah.
to you. So it does activate your soul. Like you feel the messages in your body. These aren't sessions where you're just hearing information because it's
No.
not an informative session. It's talking to your soul. So it activates remembrance. Things turn on in your body. Many times after sessions, clients will always tell me like, I'm so tired. I'm like, yeah, because for an hour you were literally charging up your soul. Now let it integrate. Like rest, get sunshine, drink water, stay hydrated. Like, and I know it's evening for you now, so just like maybe make yourself like a nice little herbal tea with lemon. Like nourish yourself in the way your soul wants to be nourished, and let this information and all of the messages they brought through really just integrate to your body, and let it integrate into your subconscious as you go to sleep tonight. And I always love reminding people, like, even though I'm the one channeling this information for this hour, you're in this space. So you are a part of this. So, like, your physical
Hmm.
body is, of course, feeling it, but you feel the messages, you feel the activation. You always feel different. If you look at how you felt at the start of the session versus the end, like, you leave literally activated.
Yeah. Hmm.
And then
I
it's
feel
like
it.
as we continue to work with each other and work through these layers, that's where it's not like, oh, I need to go to a session with Sima to feel activated, to feel good. No, you maintain that because it's actually just you.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
then, you rewire your system so much to remember this you, like not even this aspect of you, but all of this that is you, that's how you start living life. Because isn't it beautiful to live life like this, to remember this, to be so in tune with your own self in your own body? Like you live activated, like your energy is charged,
Yeah.
and nothing and no one can actually take that away from you.
Mm.
And then you're going to use that energy to not only create the life that you know in your vision that God has given you, that's the life for me, but you use that also to create the world that we see as possible for us here. People don't realize that our awakenings is not only about us, it's actually about the new earth. It's about the world, because as we learn how to move through these layers for our own individual lives and manifest these realities that we know are for us, then we use that same frequency and hold it for Earth. That's it.
Yep.
Because we are a part of Earth. We are a part of the reality that we're experiencing here on Earth.
Mhm.
So the same frequency we hold, we're giving to Earth. So how beautiful to know that all of these activations and the purpose of this awakening within each and every single one of us in our individual journeys is not only for us to live beautiful lives, of course we're meant to, but it's to activate Earth so that Earth can hold that beautiful energy also. So as we pour into her, she also pours into us. We're here to
Just like
make this world a very beautiful place.
exactly, like this is what I'm just thinking. The more that people are activated with their soul and who they are, what they're about, the lives that they want to live, like just imagine the frequency of the planet.
That's the whole
Nature,
point.
exactly. Like I actually think
That's
about
the
that a
whole
lot. I'm
point.
like,
Mhm. That's the
imagine
whole point of
everybody
our
was happy.
awakening. Yes,
Yeah.
that's the whole point of our awakening. And not just for everyone to be happy all the time. Imagine if everyone knew how to navigate the
Yes.
emotions that come up, the different ups and downs that come up in life. Imagine if everyone knew how to navigate it in a way of this is happening for my greatest and highest good. And like I shared with you earlier of like certain things that are going on in my life and how like I feel very drained and exhausted from it because I'm purging a lot of these emotions. But I
Mhm.
said to you, I'm like, this is so good. This is
Yeah.
so good. I know that this is so good because it creates protection for me in my future, for my business in my future, for my future husband, for my future children. Like it really creates a very beautiful boundary for them because of how I navigate through the emotions that come up. And you see, like in that frequency that I hold of always gratitude, everything's happening for my highest good. Do you see the love that I am? It's like unintentional now because it's just a part of my everyday routine, but the love that I'm pouring into Earth because of the frequency that I'm choosing to hold as I live on her.
Yeah. Exactly.
That and like that's what it's all about. Mother Earth is going to be so good to us as we pour into her. It's not that she doesn't want to be good to us, but if we're pouring negative toxicity, limiting beliefs, fear, doubt, all of these energies into it, like it's like a cancer
It
on her.
literally. Mm.
And as our frequency changes and we elevate and we connect to God, we're here on earth, on Mother Earth, and God, like the creation literally is God, Mother Earth, us. That is the other Holy Trinity. You know what
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
Like when we tune into that creation and we realize our frequency is what brings that godly energy here to earth. We're the middle, we're the portal. It's us. So then we recognize that's what this awakening is all about. And it's not just to have nice things, it's about what it requires us to become, who we get to become, how we get to operate here on this earth to have this beautiful life designed for us and to give back to earth. This is this is why so many people are awakening. It's time for the new earth, and the new earth happens through us. It
Hmm.
doesn't magically appear, it happens through us.
Hmm.
And
Exactly.
so, yeah, we all just get to do our part.
I love that so much. Thank you so much. That was just like so wow. Yeah. Like,
Do you have any random questions on any random topics in your life that are coming up for you that you would like to ask while we're in this space?
oh my God, I don't know why this is coming to my head, but what's my
Because it's
connection?
supposed to.
Like, what's my connection with Japan? I don't know why that's even coming to my head.
You know what? You'll know when you go. Is there a specific part of
No,
Japan?
I've been to Japan like 5 times.
You'll know when you go at this point in your life. You know what? I'd be
Mhm.
very curious.
Hmm.
Like, if in Japanese culture or Japanese like mythology, are there goddesses associated to them? Or I
Aha.
wonder if there is one of the stargates of this earth. I wonder if one of them is in Japan. There's probably some sort
Hmm.
of energy, some sort of portal, some sort of something in Japan that's also calling you, that when you go at this new aspect of you, it activates that.
It's really, I don't even know why I asked that question because I actually don't even feel called to go to Japan right now. But I've just like, I've had many times where I'm like when I am there,
Mm-hmm.
it activates some sort of peace. And like I don't know what it is. It's like I'm like
Mm-hmm.
at peace whenever.
Yeah. Japan, I've never been to Japan, but I feel like there's a mixture in like the Japanese frequency where it feels very strong and bold and not to be messed with. But it's not angry and chaotic. It's from a very, but it's also not to be messed with.
Yeah, that's very
It has
true.
that very beautiful
Yes.
balance in its frequency there. Like when I think of, let's say, like the Middle East, for example, the fire. Like
Yeah.
it's just fire. And it's like it's not to be messed with because we'll take our fire and we're gonna throw it on you. And it's very fiery in that essence and passionate.
Mhm.
Like that's where all that fire comes from. Japan's energy feels very different. Japan feels more so like water and air. Like it'll create a storm and a tsunami if needed, so don't mess with me. But the energy feels very grounded and calm in its presence. And
Right.
you know what I feel like? It's like why Japan even feels so calling for you because you are a fire sign. There is that natural fire element to you. And to counteract it so that it's not all fire, it brings in this cooling element to create this balance and to remind you that like this cooling element is just as powerful. So our like light side of our feminine is just as powerful as our dark side.
Mhm.
They go hand in hand with each other and it creates
Right.
this beautiful harmony.
Hmm. I love that.
So use it. Many times we're called to different countries on this earth, and it's not even for us to go there, it's for us to tune into the frequency of it and receive from the frequency because it's just trying to remind us of something. So maybe if you want to like go watch like Japanese shows on Netflix. Like go like like and just be curious like this is coming up. Okay, soul, you're reflecting something to me. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to go with my curiosity and whatever the specific things are, it's going to be reflected to you. So, yeah, go with it.
Love that.
So how
Thank
do
you.
you feel?
I feel like, yeah, like it's funny because when you were saying like, oh, like, people will say like, oh, I feel tired, even though it was like you doing the work. It's like, I get that. Like, I feel like, yeah, like I feel tired. Like, I feel like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, okay, like I'm ready to really go into like an intentional rest."
Yes, yes, yes. It's so normal to feel that way because like it's an activation. Like things are now
Mm,
being activated. And like think of
mhm.
like when your computer is being updated, like you have to turn off all the other systems and
Right.
let this update happen.
Hmm.
You just receive so much soul information for yourself that it updated a lot. So go like if you feel called to it, go like wind down in like a warm shower and stuff. If you don't feel like going into a shower, just put your hands in warm water. And even if you want to put let's like some salt in that water, put your hands in that water, let like the whole day and everything that's no longer aligned for you just like flush out through your hands. Create like a very warm and relaxing space for yourself. Just be in it, be with your guides, be with your grandmother, thank her, like give so much gratitude for the information that they brought through for you, and really just allow the information to be integrated into your cells and let it be activated. And I'm so excited to see how you feel in the morning.
Me too. I'm also like, I am a fire sign, so I'm like, oh my God, I want to go and read, and I am a goddess. I want to go do this. I want to go set more boundaries.
And you will.
I will.
Through this eclipse portal, I think we have to remember eclipses are all about like reflecting things to us, and we get to observe during eclipse season what comes in and what comes out. Like it literally creates a whole new version of us post eclipse that is so much more aligned to us. So it's like just let this information that literally wants to be eclipsed into your life, just let it come in, and the embodiment and the integration, it happens through this time that by the end of it, by our astrological new year, which is also your birthday,
Mhm.
that's when it's like, okay, all of this new information there, it's activated, and now let's go. So even though we've entered the year of the fire horse, it doesn't mean that like we're soaring and taking off just yet, but we are starting to move in this new direction.
Feel it.
Hmm.
Feel it for sure.
This was amazing. I'm so happy we did this. I
Yeah.
like I love all of this information for you. Like, and I always like I love this because I could have never thought that this is what you needed in your life right now, like this piece and what's coming through in the activation. Like, it's just so cool for me to see it when I do this for my friends, to like see specifically like
Must be
where
amazing.
you're,
Yeah.
yeah, like where you're at specifically in your soul contract. And it's like, just work on this. You don't need to work on 1,000 different things. Just this. Focus
Mm-hmm.
on this.
Mm-hmm. I love
So
it so much. Thank you
that's
so
that.
much. I really appreciate you and I appreciate your work and your gift and thank you for bestowing it on me.
You are so welcome. And to
Mhm.
everyone listening, we hope you enjoyed it. And
Right?
thank you,
I almost
Abby, for
forgot everybody's
allowing,
listening.
yes, like thank you for allowing everyone to listen to this and kind of be a part of your journey and reflecting this, because these are just like very intimate parts of our own soul and our own experience. So thank you for allowing people to hear it. And yeah, if anyone is called to having a session and exploring these things specifically for themselves, the best way to reach me is through my Instagram. So just send me a message through Instagram and we will do sessions for all of you.
I would highly recommend it.
All right. Well, I love you and I love you
Love
all,
you.
and we will see you next week.